Everybody has ideas, some great, some not so great, but how do you take that napkin drawing and turn it into a physical product? And in reality, how many people can actually say that they turned something in here onto an actual physical item on a shelf at Walmart? I'm Steve Rad, and we help brands and creators bring consumer products to market. If you've ever dreamed of designing or creating the next big product, from the time that little light bulb goes off to seeing it on a store shelf in Dubai somewhere, this is the roadmap for you. So, you've got an idea, but how do you know people are gonna like it? Or better question, buy it? And thus, step one, market analysis. That sounds like a super shitty term for a lot of boring stuff that's gonna happen. It's actually not that bad. All you're trying to do is identify other products in the market that are similar and why and how yours is gonna be different. This is basically your viability checkpoint. This is where you go and scour the earth in search of related products. Does the idea already exist? What does the competitive landscape look like? Who else is selling the product? Why is mine different? Why do people care? What is the closest thing to your product in the market? And if so, what does it look like? What does it cost? What are people paying for it? How many are they buying each year? How is yours going to be different, and why are you going to charge more for yours or maybe less for yours because it's not in the same category? Whatever the case, this step is critical as it will make or lose the most amount of time and money and suck up the most resources you have if you don't do it diligently in the first place. Hence why this is step one. Now keep in mind, if your item already exists, I'm not saying abort mission. I'm not saying go in a different direction. I'm just saying, why is yours different and how is it going to compete with that other item in the market? Ask your friends, ask your family, talk to people. If I made a glow-in-the-dark shipping box, would you use it? Is that a good idea or is that stupid? Keep in mind that every idea to you, to me often, is always the greatest idea ever. I'm blindly optimistic. Whatever I came up with is always the greatest idea until I go through step one in this process. This is also the step where you would ask yourself a lot of those inward questions, some of the cliche things like, what problems am I solving with this product? Now, pro tip, this is also where you want to dig into analytics. How many people are looking or searching for this kind of item per year, per month? If it's a brand new category, if you're creating a product that's never existed before, this is super complicated because it doesn't exist. No one's ever searched for the thing because you just invented it yesterday. Find something close, find something relative, see if there's some kind of framework to justify why you're about to spend all of this time, all this money in this effort. There's a gajillion places for resources. You got Google Trends, you've got Amazon search inquiries and results, you've got tools like Helium 10 or SEMrush. There's a slew of weapons out there, including AI, to ask and find out, do people care? Is there relative products in the market like this? And will people pay for something like this if I create it? Start to wrap your mind around keywords. If you had a magic wand and you invented a portable backdrop for a trade show, what is the search term or keyword that you would want to rank for the most? Is it trade show display? Is it trade show booth? Is it a backdrop? What is the exact magical search phrase or keywords that would encompass all of your effort into one term? This is all on the same path to audience building. We'll cover that in a second. Again, if you realize it's a saturated industry, it's not time to run. It's time to figure out how yours will be different and at what price point will it matter to consumers. This is also a good time to start thinking about your target audience. And I know that sounds complicated and scary, but just think about your audience as one person. If you were selling to just one single individual, what would that person look like? What kind of traits or characteristics would they have? Male or female? Level of income? Level of education? Kids or no kids? What type of job or field of work would they be in? What are the specific traits and nuances of that single person that could help you build an audience? To summarize, it's very important when creating products to understand, why am I making this product and who do I intend to sell it to? That is the baseline of step one in market analysis. Step two, we turn it into something visual. You can't just walk around trying to explain to everybody what you see in your brain. So turning it into somewhat of a visual package will start to make it somewhat real. I call this stage teasing because it's not yet actually greenlit for production or manufacturing, but it's in a stage where we can start teasing interest around it. And teasing comes in different formats. If it's a toy idea, for example, we would make a prototype. If it's a book, we're gonna write the first page or design the first chapter or spread. If it's an app idea, maybe we build out something on Figma where the user can click through it and visualize it. You basically need to get the audience engaged in a visual way so that it makes sense when they look at it. How do they feel when they see it for the first time? And hey, now with AI, teasing and concept design has never been so easy. Mood boards, concepts. You have every tool at your disposal to even make a video to tease your product with. This is where you can build out a visual deck and sell what I call a sizzle. And suddenly we're attaching a mood, a style, a color palette. A brand is suddenly born. And where a brand is born, theoretically, a story should exist. And all of a sudden you can visualize the ads on TV, the visual storytelling on social media. You begin to understand and to predict what this should and needs to look like in the wild. This is my favorite part, when I can see the ad in my head, when I can see the commercial and visualize the narrative, the voiceover, who's in the commercial, why does the consumer care, why would they click on it? If I see all of that in my head as I'm designing, I'm on the right track. So in other words, in step 2, you pull back and look at the entire picture. Is there a clear path of why we're designing, who we're designing for, and can you see the path, the entire laneway for why we're doing what we're doing? And thus step 3, to pre-sell. Think about Shark Tank, think about Kickstarter. All of those engines are created so that you can pitch and present the minimum viable product, the MVP. The MVP strategy is designed to mitigate losses against a catastrophic loss. This is where you float and tease your viable idea, step 1, in a visual format, step 2, with potential buyers to gain interest around something barely functional, the MVP of step 3. This is when you want to attend trade shows and penetrate communities. This is where you show people what you've created as if it was real. But what about the protection? What if someone steals my idea? If this is your only idea ever, then sure, this is where we pause and go protect it first. You can argue that step 3 should be protecting the IP, copyrights, trademarks, patent protection. This is also contingent on your budget. Did you raise money? Do we have the cash flow or the resources to go protect the IP before we know it's good? If you think without a shadow of a doubt that this is the world's greatest idea, then sure, go protect it first. I have been personally guilty of overprotecting an idea, spending countless hours and resources and money on attorney fees just to bring a product to market and watch it fail. And so what I've learned in the process is that showing the MVP first in the staging process and teasing it in the market is my safest play. The minute I smell a winner, the moment I know it's a viable product, I'm launching a full aerial attack on everything I can to do to protect the item. So in short, if you've got the resources, the money, the budget to first protect it, by all means, copyright, trademark, patent protection first. Otherwise, you've got no choice but to dangle it in the market before spending any more money until we know this thing's gonna work. You have to set a precedent to stop spending by all means necessary. Do not spend any money, whatever you want to call it, investing. Do not invest in it until you know it's viable. Jump into part 2 where we talk about manufacturing, design, and marketing the product.